let's talk about DeSantis for a second, because we can talk about how exciting it is that he won by such an enormous margin. It is exciting. But what's perhaps more interesting to me is why he won by this margin compared to the very small margin that he won by in 2018. You'll remember, journey back with me. You'll remember in 2018, I've been talking about this for years, by the way, so maybe you've heard me break this down before. But in 2018, the reason Ron DeSantis won was because his opponent, Andrew Gillum, was trying to shut down the charter school program in the state of Florida. He called the charter schools siphons on the public school system. And Ron DeSantis came in, and this was the very beginning of the fight for educational freedom, before critical race theory, before queer theory in schools, before no parental notification of transitions, stuff like that. Before all of that, school choice was about getting the best opportunity for the highest quality education for your child, not based on your zip code. And Ron DeSantis said, no, I stand with parents. I want parents to be able to make these decisions. And he won by 30,000 votes, or 32,000 votes, because 30,000 school choice moms, these were Black women in the state of Florida who were registered Democrats, who switched their vote to vote for a Republican governor who was promising to protect the programs that they had chosen for their children. We've talked about that before. But that's very interesting, because that otherwise the vote split between Ron DeSantis and Andrew Gillum in 2018 was very much along party lines, except for school choice. So what did Ron DeSantis do after that happened? Well, after that happened, COVID happened. After that happened, transgenderism, the transgender ideology. It became evident that this had infiltrated schools. Critical race theory was also in schools. And these issues are what I would call the based issues, meaning Republicans and conservatives really set themselves apart if they take the proper, logical, sometimes very unpopular view, or at least unpopular with the public health officials and the CNN pundits and the Democrats on these issues. So, for example, critical race theory in school, Ron DeSantis got rid of that. Not only did he get rid of critical race theory in schools in Florida, he mandated that communism be taught in the historical sense, meaning that communism is evil. So school children in the state of Florida are now, not only are they not taught critical race theory, they are taught that communism is bad and evil, and they're taught why and what happens as a result of communism. The same with the quote unquote "Don't Say Gay" bill, the parental rights and education bill that Ron DeSantis signed into law. This was never "Don't Say Gay." This was simply mandating that kindergartners, first graders, second graders, and third graders aren't told that they can be a boy if they want to be a boy, or a girl if they want to be a girl, and that parents aren't shut out of children transitioning at school, meaning that parents are allowed to see the medical records of their children at school. And then we have Disney, what Ron DeSantis did with Disney's special status, their special corporation status, which even some Republicans to this day misunderstand what DeSantis did. He didn't target Disney's free speech. He simply rescinded a special privilege extended only to Disney, not to other corporations, only to Disney, that was given to Disney when Disney was in the best interest of the state, that DeSantis said, well, if you're going to add a queerness agenda to your programming, you are no longer in the best interest of the state. Therefore, you no longer qualify for this special status. And then, of course, the vaccine mandates that DeSantis refused to take part in, the lockdown, the devastating lockdowns that DeSantis refused to take part in. The reason I find his margin of victory above 15 points so interesting is because we can identify exactly why DeSantis won in 2018, those school choice moms. But he's increased his margin, not by being a centrist, not by trying to be bipartisan, not by being weak on social issues and kind of avoiding the uncomfortable culture wars, but actually the opposite. Ron DeSantis increased his margin of victory to historic levels because he was based on all of these things, schools and Disney and vaccines and lockdowns. And he proudly claims that Florida is the anti-woke state.